Hey guys, how's it going? Hope everybody's well and safe. I wanted to come in and show you guys, as promised, my modern shag haircut. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna walk you through this just in case you wanna do this on your mannequin at home. This is our sectioning. So this right here, you're gonna isolate the fringe section. It's gonna be something that we're gonna do last. I know you're thinking that's probably a pretty big fringe section, but if you know anything about a shag, you know there's a lot of detail in the front of the face. So that's why we're isolating that much of the fringe. And then we're doing 4 inverted triangles that are below the parietal here, all the way around. You see that? It basically takes out a disconnected perimeter for you. So that we know we're not cutting the length off of her, okay? We are gonna trim it, but we know we're not cutting into the length when we're doing our shag layers up at the top, right? So, I'm gonna give you a second to get sectioned and we'll move to the next part. All right, so now you got your sections, you have your triangles. I need you to create a 1-inch subsection right here at the very top of the head. This is gonna be your guide for the shortest layer, okay? So, let me take her off and show you the section right at the top. All right, so this is where you're gonna create your shortest layer, and we're gonna hold this at 180 degrees and cut strictly off the top. Now you can point cut, you can blunt cut, it's totally customizable to whatever you prefer. I like to go in and I like to cut my guide, and then I like to go in and point cut and soften it up. So this is going to be your guide for your shortest layer. Now you can take some of that guide and you can take each triangle and use as your guide, as your section to go up and reach your guide. So now I split the section. I'm going to take my first triangle down. I'm going to use some of my guide here. I'm going to go all the way up. You see my guide here? All the way up, straight across. Next triangle, take it down, use my guide in the middle. Come all the way up. See my guide here? And I'm cutting. Next triangle. All the way up to 180. Find my guide and cut straight across. And last triangle. See, the great thing about this haircut too is that if you're organized and you have nice clean sections, it goes by pretty quick. It's a pretty easy haircut and it's very in style. All right, so now that we're done with our shag layers here, we're gonna comb it out and we are going to get ready for the perimeter. So really, I mean, it's customizable for your client, so whatever length that she would like. I'm just gonna go in. I like the disconnection of the shorter layer and the longer hair, so I'm barely going to trim her ends all the way around. And of course, we're gonna do some layering around the face, so it's gonna really take a lot of this off around the face. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we are going to do a surface blend to blend the layers into the length. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a section, you're going to comb it out at about 45 degrees. And I see here where my layer is, and I see that I have some length and some weight through the bottom there. I don't know if you can see that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my shears above, and I'm gonna start just where that layer ends and do some surface blending right there at a 45 to blend that layer into the bottom. All right, so now we're gonna start the fringe section. So I have my fringe still isolated. I'm gonna let that go. One thing that we talk about that's super important when you're cutting hair is saturation. So don't be afraid to stop and use your water bottle or your leave-in or your cutting lotion to resaturate the section. All right, so this fringe may be a little bit different than what you're used to. It's a little bit more organic. I really love the results because they're really natural looking. So what I'm gonna do is something called condensed cutting. So I'm going to condense it really tight tension with my finger. Let's see if I can take this off so I can show you guys. See that? See how my section is nice and clean, but I'm condensing it all in my fingers right there in the middle. So I'm gonna hold it nice and tight. Lots of tension. And my guide here is going to be the bridge of her nose. So basically this over direction that you have on both sides is going to leave you what on the side? Length, you are correct. So over direction gives us length. So if I push it to the middle, condense it, then I'm going to point cut the condensed section underneath my finger. Just like that, and then when I let go, you see that, and it's longer on the sides. So this is going to be the start of our framing in the front. So how we're going to do the framing, what I like to do, this is customizable. We want to blend the fringe in with the side layer here. But for me, if I'm going to do a shag, now it depends on your client, but if I'm going to do a shag, I want it to be super textured around the face. I mean, that's really in right now. So I'm taking a whole section here at the ear. You see that? And I'm going to bring that forward, completely forward. And if I bring that forward, my goal is to cut from where the fringe ends all the way down to my new length, okay? So I'm coming forward and I'm sliding all the way down to the end. And I'm gonna go back and check. You can point into it. Come all the way across. Just like so. And then I'm going to pick a little bit more up, just because, like I said, I like it to be very shaggy around the face. So first I'm pulling it to the fringe. I can see my guide. And then I'm taking this side all the way across. And this is what's going to give me that super, super fringy look around the face. That winged back feathered look. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So now that I'm done with the base of the cut, I'm going to go in and detail. Now detailing, it depends on the person's density, depends on the texture, really how they style their hair. So for her, I'm going to go in some of the heavier areas with a razor and show you a little bit of texturizing that way. And then I may go in with some thinning shears just to lighten up, texture shears just to lighten up the ends of the layers. This is it. Final product. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned. My next video, short pixie cut with a razor, one of my favorites. Bye guys.